you ever had somebody like Google your name?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
That never even crossed my mind, because if you do social media, people can just, like, people you meet can literally just Google your name and then look through shit, hear everything you say, everything you go through your whole life, basically. Oh, okay. In 2019, okay. That never even crossed my mind until somebody told me they did that. That's crazy. I don't know if that's a good thing. You got to start telling people like an alias. My name is Chris. It's Chris.
Yeah.
If I
Chris.
use my real name, no one will find me.
You think they won't? What is your real name? Oh, see, yeah, that's good. Yeah, so you got a little. Okay,
you can't. The only thing you'll find on me is football.
Yeah.
So
I feel like there's, but last episode I brought up a listener's profile. In the comments, I realized a lot of people didn't realize, like, they never saw your physique. I'm like, I assume that anybody who would watch the podcast already seen it, listed, right?
Yeah.
They're like, wow, Alicia looks crazy. I'm like, oh, you didn't know that? She's kind of a thing, She's kind of a thing in the industry. He wasn't aware.
it's actually the views. I actually was showing one of my buddies today. The one that you posted yesterday was up to 1.8 within one day.
Well, that's pretty good. It ebbs and flows sometimes, and it's like, I guess it depends what time of year it is, what's going on, and sometimes I don't really know how the algorithm works, but we just get on here and just talk. We don't even.
I think the more people, of course, post about it, I mean, that just gives more coverage.
Yeah. What people tell me is they like big cast and they like longer episodes. Which I would have assumed before I started. I would have assumed it was the opposite. I would assume people, but people don't watch it; they listen to it. So they're cooking and driving and listening to it. So they wanted to go on, right? They could listen to 5 hours if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Right? Because all day long. So, Stu?
Hi. I've been gone for a while. Forgive me.
When did you get back from Columbus?
We drove back Sunday night. We got in like Monday evening.
Did you load up on your what do you call it, joint, and what's the shit called that we take for the health? That supplement from
the health stuff.
The health stuff.
Yeah.
did you load up on that?
The what's it called? Glutathione.
Yeah. What are they called? The joint and liver.
Joint liver support.
Joint liver support. Yeah. That's my shit when I go somewhere.
I took a bunch of immune subs, and including there's a peptide that I discovered that Biolab carries, actually, and I took some of that as well, and I'm not sick at all right now, which is great because I got sick anytime I went anywhere last year. So,
that shit is like inevitable. Anytime you're around, like you're right, a lot of people, especially some about bodybuilders, extra Jeremy is anytime you're around like an expo or something, you come back home and it's over. It's over for you. And sometimes it'll keep coming back. Like, oddly enough, they keep coming back. So especially everybody knows about the Olympia flu. The Olympia flu is legendary. That should have cost you months of gains. Hey, did you go to the actual show or just the expo? Oh, can you hear me?
I just went to the expo. I was at the gas booth the entire time. I was a salesman. I was selling clothes, and I am never going to do that again.
Why do you say that?
Well, I was on my feet for like 12 hours a day for 3 days straight. It was rough. Like, my feet have never hurt that bad, man. And also, I'm a bad salesman because people don't want to buy shit from me. They want to take pictures with me and talk to me. And I think that's better left to other people. I got to go to the Arnold, though.
That's
So
nice.
that's cool.
It's not in your personality to like just say things, right? Unless you just feel like saying it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, good salesmen are good liars, man.
Yeah.
It's not entirely true, but I mean, there is a
It is
big
true.
overlap there. I'm not a good liar. So.
Well, it's
But yeah, I'm probably not going to be going to shows and stuff in that capacity again, most likely.
yeah.
Overall, like I don't regret it, but it was a
Look at those
for a
hands,
lot
man.
for a lot of the time it was an unpleasant experience physically.
I bet, man. Yo, look at Stu's hands. Look at his mittens. Holy shit.
How many people were at the booth with you? Was it just you and Aaron? Was that his name?
No, it was 12 people total.
Oh, okay.
So like one of the things was happening, and I don't hold this against anybody that I was working with, like they're doing their jobs, but like, people would come over to the booth and see me and like want to take a picture with me or something, and they do that, and then they go to somebody else and buy something for them. Or like my favorite was like somebody would like one of the other salespeople would like sell them something. They get credit for that sale because we're all doing like point of sale shit on our phones. It's like commission based. And then when they're done doing that, they'll grab me and they're like, "Hey, this dude wanted to take a picture with you." I'm like, "Are you fucking really?" So like all in, like our sales for the whole group was really good. Like we did more than we ever had before. Um, but I mean, I walked away with less than $600 in commissions, which is terrible for basically a week of being away.
Right there, that's a good week for me if I make that much sales in t-shirts.
Mm.
Stu got higher standards than me though. Hey, but when it comes to like clothes, honestly, anything, even like coaching, I feel like you see my clothes, you know what I wear, you see it every day. You want to buy it or no? Right? It's like, what do I tell? How do I entice you? You see this? It's so soft and fucking. It's a t-shirt, bro. It's baggy.
Yeah, well, the thing about being a good salesman is like you're not even really talking about the product. Like you're building a
Yeah,
relationship, you're making the person feel good, you're talking with them about their life, and I'm not good at that. So
yeah.
I don't care to become good at that. Uh, yeah, when I go to stuff in the future, it's going to be as an athlete, not as a salesman. I'm not like
Yeah.
sour on the experience. It was just not what I
This is
expected.
it's hard work, man. It's hard work. When why did we start wearing Gasp or anything we wore in the gym? We were young and watching videos, and that's what we saw, right? It's like training. We train like Ronnie because we watch Ronnie train. It's like Ronnie didn't have to sell us. We just looked at it, right? And like, what else do you wear? I mean, you gotta wear something. I mean, so we kind of wore baggy shit anyway. So we're like, why not wear some baggy with that looks a little better? I feel like even supplements should sell themselves. Like, what do I tell you about a pre-workout to sell it?
Yeah, ultimately, it's just like brand awareness, brand recognition, then it sells itself,
Yeah,
with a lot of
you,
this stuff.
you guys remember Chris Jones, the pump
Yeah.
chasers, and
Yeah.
he used to be like, listen, I got protein, I got pre-workout. It's the same shit that you can get from Amazon. But if you watch my video, if you fuck with me, show me some love if you want to. If you don't, cool. I mean,
I,
what it is, what it is. What you
yeah.
want me to tell you?
I think a lot of companies now have lost touch with the fact that if you want to sell product, you have to create a community that people want to be a part of. Because everybody wants to be a part of something. Everybody wants to be valued. Just everybody wants to be accepted for who they are. So,
Especially
how
here in this sport.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you sell a product? You get good athletes that promote the products that people want to be like.
But Gasp actually does a really good job of the community thing.
They
Just
do,
does
they
a
do.
Like
great.
that's like their whole company, bro.
Yep.
Like,
Hmm.
so credit to them. And, it's actually a pretty cool community. Like the reason I like going to these events is like, you know, I get to meet people and talk to people, like just shoot the shit and it's fun. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's any fitness or at least bodybuilding clothing line that does it like the way they do it. Think about it. I was just watching a James Hollinshead interview, and they were like, "How did the gasp thing come along?" He was like, "Bro, honestly, I was wearing it long before I got with them." And that every single gasp athlete I know was already wearing gasp, right? Like, they think about it. They were already wearing gasp before they joined gasp. So I think that says a lot. You know, if you're already doing something before you get with them, that says a lot. So as far as like brand awareness, they got that shit. You know, under wraps. It's just like, how do you get them to use your code instead of instead of Jordan's code, right? No, I guess they just gotta like you. I don't know. That's basically what you gotta do, Stu. Like, hey, use my code instead, because people buy Gasp. I mean, they fucking buy it. Just they have to use your code. How do you get them to do that? I don't know. Make more videos, Stu. Make more.
All over it.
I think that's really what it comes down to. Just the brand has to have, for you to even sell, the brand has to have their own identity, and then you have to have your own demographic, I guess, your own following, and then that comes together and is magic, right? We talked about this with supplement companies. This is why companies like Hostile do well, because the brand stands on its own, and then you get an athlete that people like. And then it's like Hostile grows the athlete's brand, and the brand, you know, it's like it works in unison.
And it's crazy because that kind of like brand awareness and identity and stuff will it will transcend even having good products. Because like, you know, if you're actually like looking at stuff as a critical consumer, bro, there's a lot of shitty stuff out there. But it sells like crazy because you know, people think it's cool for whatever reason.
You don't, like, in today's market, you don't actually need a great product. You need a good enough product, but all you need is marketing, right? At the end of the day, I know a lot of like, we'll see a successful bodybuilding coach and we'll think that's like, this guy is doing great. I'll tell you right now, there's a 22-year-old at Zoo Culture that makes 3 times that money just for being popular. No real knowledge, right? How much knowledge are you gonna have, right? As an influencer at 22, right?
I just did a video on that today. That's funny.
Yeah. But they'll make more money. Well, probably not, but from coaching, they'll make more money than the Acetos and them. Obviously, those guys have real estate business and stuff like that. But just from coaching, these guys are making some of them seven figures, you know. But it's marketing. It's just knowing how to sell. Or some of them are good liars and just make weird videos and stuff. But it works, so you can't be mad at them. You just gotta learn a way around it.
Now, you as an athlete, like, you have to decide, okay, this is maybe this big company, right? They have a lot of sales. They could pay me a lot, but their products suck. And do you want to be a person who promotes shit? I don't, personally. Which is why, like, you know, I mean, with Apollon, when I was with them, like, I tried to talk about, like, how good their formulas and stuff were. I think that fell on deaf ears. But I would not ever be with a supplement company that put out crap. You know, it's the same with Gasp. Like, their clothing is very high quality, and that's one of the reasons why it's more expensive compared to like Young LA or Dark Shit or whatever. Because like, I've talked to people about their stuff, and it falls apart. It's a fast fashion brand that, you know, 6 months from now you're going to buy something else from a new drop that they did, or maybe a month from now. You know, because they're like so caught up in the culture and stuff. And I don't fuck with that, you know, just philosophy, you know. I know people with like pro hoodies from Gasp that have had them for a decade and they still wear them and they're great. You know, you don't get that quality from most other companies.
I've had a few friends with Alpha Elite, and the quality wasn't that good, honestly. They actually had quite a few issues with people online. I think wasn't Goop posting about that? About Alpha Elite? About them not getting their clothes and stuff?
Oh, yeah, unfulfilled orders. That was ages ago.
Yeah. some of these companies market so well that they get so big that they actually become worse, if that makes sense, right? But anyway, to get to the Arnold, who impressed you the most, Stu?
The winner? Yeah, the winner. I mean, Derek looked fantastic, and I think the scorecards said he was leading by 3 at prejudging and only by 1 at the night show or the finals. I don't see how Samson took any points away from him personally. I mean, his condition was just so many miles better. And he was like full and big, and he didn't lose any like that quad sweep that he sometimes has, sometimes doesn't when he's on stage. I mean, you can't really knock anything about him.
Yeah. Well, just because Samson improved at the finals a lot, but just because you improve doesn't mean you're better than the other person, right? That kind of thing. I'm asking this to all of y'all. Do you think because he lost the Arnold that makes him a favorite for the Olympia? I mean, that's the opposite. Do you think because Derek won the Arnold that makes him the favorite for the Olympia? Do you think the conversation is going to be who has to beat Derek, or it's still going to be about Samson?
Well, I think it's just such a open field right now. It's like a 4-horse race.
Yeah.
Maybe 5. I mean,
yeah. So when everybody's saying Samson for the first time beat Derek and Hadi, and then the people are saying, well, he's unbeatable after beating them once, right? And then Nick says, I forget what Nick said, but he said nobody has like a firm hold on it, something like that. And it became like a thing, like he's talking shit almost.
That's correct. That's correct analysis. Look at the last 5 years.
Exactly. But it's like not every time, but a lot of times when Ramy won twice, the rhetoric was that he's too big, he's too wide, he's too good. Nobody can beat him, right? And then it's like Hadi won at the Arnold last year. Nobody can beat this Hadi, even though we didn't see that Hadi. But I think we have to understand that it's irrelevant. It's like that just because somebody wins doesn't mean they're unbeatable. To be unbeatable, you have to be unbeatable. You have to win consecutive times to be even in that conversation. But winning once doesn't make anybody unbeatable. And
Can I just pause real quick? Sorry, Mr. Roth. Yes. I don't think we've met.
No,
I'm Stu.
I'm just a typical Joe, man. I'm a nobody in this place.
So what is your actual first name?
DT Roth.
DT is your first name?
Yeah, I go by DT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Wait.
I know it's government.
You don't want nobody
know how to address you. Like,
no, you're good, man. I'm pretty good
Roth.
I'm pretty good friends with Jordan Hutchison.
Oh, okay.
I'm just an amateur trying to get my nut. So.
I know one of those.
Yeah.
That's why he's on the pod, bro. You got to show love.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. No, I know who you are, so that's the most important.
Yeah, Alyssa and I are pros trying to get our nut, I guess.
We're all trying to get something around here. For sure.
Hey, do you feel like it ever changes? Do you feel any different being a pro now than you felt working your way up? Like working your way up as a pro versus working your way up as an amateur, do you feel any different? Do you feel more achieved in any way? Like, okay, good.
No. It's like less satisfying, if anything, because like that, I don't know. For me, I think turning pro was a achievable goal, and I kind of always had that in my mind. But getting to the Olympia is like much less certain in my mind now.
Yeah.
Are you saying you don't think you'll get to the Olympia?
I said it's much less certain. Like turning pro, I was pretty confident I could do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but are you still confident you can go to Olympia? Testing is test, dude.
No. Why not?
Come on,
dude. Look at the field of competitors. nowadays.
It's pretty deep.
But look
pretty
at yourself.
Really good. Well, I'm just Stu. You know,
You're mediocre.
I'm just
mediocre
Stu. Yeah.
beef stew.
Yeah.
Still just Stu.
Yeah, but people can respect that though, because I think when you talk real like that, you're like, oh, I'm just me. That's exactly what people need to focus on, is who they are as a person. You can only be the best version of yourself, and everybody wants to be everybody else. I don't want to be in anyone else's shoes, because I don't know what the fuck anyone else is going through. So for me, you know, so I respect that, man.
And it's it's unfortunate because like the biggest names in this sport like got there pretty quickly, oftentimes. Like Martin, Martin and Nick, they
Andrew.
catapulted in the course of a couple of years to like up to the top level. Andrew, Samson kind of was like down here, and then he just crazy meteoric rise, in the last couple of years.
Brandon kind of.
Yeah, Brandon's been around for ages now. Like he turned pro in 08, right? Yeah, at the USA's, and like, but yeah, I just think it's because if you're comparing yourself to those guys, it's like, okay, those are the guys at the top. That's how quickly they got there. It's like that's not happening for me. But then you think of like Ian is the example I always think of. Like he competed for 5 years as a pro before he ever qualified for the O. I don't want to wait that long. I mean, nobody does, but maybe that's what it'll end up being.
Mm-hmm. Your journey, not just in bodybuilding, but in life in general, your journey never makes sense till you're on the other side and you're like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Like you get what you want in life, you just don't realize you get it the way you need to get it. You don't get it the way you think you're gonna get it or the way you want to get it, but you usually get it. That's the funny part. It doesn't happen the way or in a timeline that you want it, but it happens because you don't stop living life, right? You keep doing what you want to do and what you're supposed to do, and it happens, but never the way you envisioned it. And it never feels how you thought it was gonna feel. Like you just said, turning pro, you think it's gonna feel a certain way, and you get it, and it feels different. But it happens the right way.
Just keep chasing the rabbit, you'll never catch it, and retire unfulfilled.
we used to try to convince Stu to like look at it different, but then I mean it kind of makes sense because he explained that like you can have all the confidence you want, you can outwork everybody, and you can bring a physique that you and everybody in your corner and all the fans think should have won and still lose, right? So you can do all of that and still not win the show, and then you just feel kind of demoralized because you're like, damn, what else can I do? So I get the mindset of like, just focus on the work and don't really think about whether this is a possibility or not. Because I mean, at the USA's you won, but you seem like you just showed up. You didn't seem like you're like, yeah, I'm here, I'm the front runner. You didn't seem like that.
In the same vein, like I went into that show, I'd never done a national show. I had no idea what to expect. Like I didn't know how I was going to compare to like the best amateurs up there. Turns out pretty well, but like I didn't know that going in, so I had like
we knew
very few expectations.
Yeah, I feel like
I think that's the best way to be. That's how I'm thinking this year. I don't even care. I'm just like, I'm gonna go to North Americans, and I don't fucking care. What I can't help whatever happens. Like it is what it is. You just do your best, and
I think we should have Mr. DT on here more often.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, he's been
he gets it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as we've talked about, I think it was 2 podcasts ago. I got to go to work on Monday, so me becoming pro would be fantastic, and if I ever got my pro card, that's really where it's gonna stop. I mean, I'll do a pro show for fun, but I can't, I can't even sniff anyone's fucking posing trunks. You know what I'm saying? Like legit. Yeah. So it's a cap on your, a feather in your cap, whatever. But then you got to go to work on Monday, and you got to keep doing your life. Just because you turn pro, that doesn't mean like, oh, this is it. Like I'm here. No, motherfucker, you're in the back. You know, I told Dom, I said, I want to be the best last place possible. You know, I mean, it is what it is, you know?
That's hard to explain to somebody in their early 20s, right?
Yeah.
You know, you
So
you you
full of
you
hope and naive and
see,
foolish.
you don't want to like tear them down because they're in such a motivated state. But like this idea of like, I'm like, hey, why do you want to do your show? Why do you want to do this show? You know, don't you think you need more muscle? It's like, yeah, but I just want to go out there and like, prove myself. I'm like, to who? Who are you prove? Who are you prove? Like, you think people are like watching you? Like, yeah, that guy 22-year-old. Bro, nobody cares. It's only you that cares, which is great. That's why you do it for yourself, right? If that makes sense, right? Like you're not proving anybody wrong or right. There's so many bodybuilders that nobody really cares about any specific guy besides obviously like some of the top guys.
Yeah,
So
like the vast majority of pros. Who cares?
I
Right?
mean, I would go as far as say if Samson walked in Walmart right now, I mean, maybe two people would, and he's at the top of the top, and only two people will probably even. I mean, they might say, "Bro, you got some big arms," but they're not gonna roll out a red carpet for him. Nobody cares. So at the end of the day, Samson does seem like he does it for himself. I don't think he gives a fuck about what anybody thinks. That's why I mean, he did the Arnold. He lost to Arnold. He did, so the idea that you're like gonna make a name and prove yourself. I mean, that's great, but just focus on why you started doing it. You love it. That's it.
I
And
mean, in my shoes, to your point, Mr. Roth, like when you have to go to work on Monday, like yeah, that's true, but I'm kind of like on the borderline of like if I could qualify it and like start to get bigger name for myself, like that opens up like additional
go.
sources of revenue.
Yes.
Like just lucrative contracts
Yes.
potentially, which is like
For you,
right,
yes.
definitely.
For when I look at like I just use myself for example, so I don't say anything wrong. I look at myself and I'm like, hey, like you've been at this for a little bit. Where are you going? Where's your end road? What is the goal here? And I stopped looking at what the goal was and just doing it, for myself. Because at the end of the day, you can have all these aspirations and all this stuff. As you get older, you get more worn down. Like things start happening in life, and so taking a step back, being a top pro, I consider you a top pro because, dude, look at you. You know what I'm saying? You're
Medium,
not. You're not over
medium,
here.
medium.
You're not. You like I look at you. I look at you and Jordan, and I'm like, all right, bro. That's like the next in my eyes, like the crop that's coming up. So like you guys have this potential to open the doors, right? For
But
myself, bro, my
right,
fucking doors goddamn shut.
and that's
I'm
what I'm
trying.
saying. Like it's a different
Yeah,
scenario. Even if you have similar mindsets, but like my mindset is a little different because it's like this could really change my life in significant ways, and it's that much more annoying when the chips don't fall, in my shoes because like I have this little carrot in front of me, like maybe you won't have to go to work on Monday.
right, right, right.
That would be great.
Good point. Good
No, I
point.
get.
Yeah, I would say our listeners in that same boat. Like a change in one placing, right, second to first, actually does make a pretty big difference. It's just one placing, right? You would think, yeah, what's the big deal? But in specific positions, it can make all the difference, right? So I'm sure Alyssa is like, there's a lot more stake for you, right? Alyssa you're probably not going to the show like, let's see, right? I feel like Alyssa is like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I better win this fucking first, like, you know.
Listen,
Yeah,
won't
but
even talk to anybody.
when I get to the show, I'm looking at these girls like, damn, am I? That girl's bigger than me. That girl's bigger than me, and then I'm ahead of them all because it's
Yeah.
about what it looks like under those lights in a suit. And I know I have what it takes, so there's a way that I go about doing what I do, and it's just gonna take this year, I guess. Last I did it 2023, took a whole nother year. Now maybe I'm in my prime, and we'll see what happens this year. But I um I don't know. I
Yeah.
do this shit. I believe in myself. I have faith. I don't have hope. I have faith. Um, but I don't have thoughts that it's going to change my life, because I don't think that in the women's categories that it's anything life changing, unless you were winning
Yeah.
like the Wings of Strength shows and getting a truck,
Ooh.
Camaro, 50 grand. But I'm not a bodybuilder, so I don't have that going on for me. But
Yeah, that's unfortunately true. I mean, like, Angela Yo.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I saw her at the gym, and I like briefly interacted with her, and she came to the booth and bought a shirt. And like, she was walking around. This is second best women's bodybuilder in the world, right?
Mhm.
Nobody's like stopping her and talking to her and like asking for pictures and stuff. And I'm like, this is so fucking gay. Like, do you know, like, because like I was training with a couple of buddies and we were like me and Angela were like going towards a machine at the same time, and she was like, "Are you like?" And I was like, "No, go ahead, please." And like my buddies had no idea who it was. Like,
Yeah,
nobody in there knew who it was. I'm like, dude, this is fucked.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and like that's just kind of the unfortunate state of it. So like to the absolute greatest degree, like women's physique competitors, bodybuilders, like they have to do it because they love it.
Yeah. Well, that's why the female bodybuilder works so hard, because it's all passion, right?
Yeah.
It almost has to be. But there's a lot less spots. That's why, like, there's really no Ian. Like, we talk about Ian, right? Somebody who made a great career for himself, not being. Well, the argument was he top tier? Was he first tier or second tier? I think he was. I still think he was first tier,
It's like one
but
and a half, you're like
well,
one and a quarter. Like,
he was well he was this is not in a bad way, but he was like toward the bottom of the first tier, if that makes sense, right? Like I
yeah,
think the example was Juan Morel. Successful career, made a lot of money, but there's no female version of Juan Morel and Ian, right? Because if you're at the bottom of the top tier, you don't have the same contracts, right? And like
yeah.
notability, unless I guess you do really well on social media. But is there a women's bodybuilder that has a really big social media, like bodybuilder, not like
there are women with very popular social medias, but it's not because of
uh
their career, like what they're doing with their career. I'll put it
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, I know,
Uh,
I know where you're going. I know where
Angela
you're
has
going.
the same number of followers as me, and that's second in the world. Like,
That's
that's
wild.
fucking insane, man.
When it comes to the what I just noticed, when it comes to like women's physique, women's bodybuilders, it's you gotta have like something. Like there's gotta be something about you that people just like in general. For me, it's the classic posing. I don't do
Mm-hmm.
too much of it anymore. In my routines, you get a taste of it, but that's what made me popular. Women like Andrea Shaw or Ashley Jones, who got third, they have a high following. They're popular. But with those women, maybe not so much Andrea, but like Ashley Jones, certain people they lack posting. They only post when they're, I don't know how, it's like a highlight reel.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's true.
I again, like we talked about, I post everything because it's my journal, it's my diary. I just post and go, and people follow that even though they don't engage with it. But when I do meet these people in person, they tell me, hey, I saw your video. I watched what you eat. I started buying the same stuff that you get, the same sauces, pico. Like they notice all the little intricate things, even though they're not engaging with it because it's relatable. But when you're just
Agree.
posting women, for example, or just posting ass or tits or a photo shoot that they did with the top photographer, that's their way of bringing people in. But there's got to be something about you that makes you not different, but like Dana Lynn Bailey. Like there was something about Dana Lynn Bailey that every fucking buddy loved. Then there was Danny Reardon. And those are two people that I've been compared to because I'm charismatic on stage. I'm not boring. People look at me and they just like, oh, fuck that. That's a girl. I'm not gonna. But once they get to know me, they're like, oh, she's pretty cool. Like I'm one of the guys, like I can hang
Yeah,
with the topic of conversation because I'm knowledgeable, because I literally, this is all I do since 2009, really. I just watch YouTube, I learn more about it, I do it, I post about it, I compete, and every year I get better and better. And I hope that that's enough to keep me stringing along popularity wise. But I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck no more because I put posing to the side, coaching to the side. I'm 31, and I'm literally solely focused on my career, and I'm very selfish about it because
yeah,
I'm the only one that's gonna make it happen. So I gotta do what I gotta do.
yeah. Most of the girls that watch the podcast told me they started watching it because of Alyssa. So I appreciate that because ain't no girls about, about to watch
It
this
wasn't because
podcast.
of us, man.
It definitely wasn't because of us. So I'm like, oh, thank you. That's great, you know. And some of them are bikini girls, but they are hardcore bikini girls. There's bikini girls that's just their body. They can't look like a bodybuilder per se. Well, maybe they could down the line, but they're just young, getting into sport, and they like bodybuilding. Actually, they follow bodybuilding more than bikini. They just are bikini for now, you know. It's just this in the future they might be bodybuilders, you know. But yeah. But back to Alyssa's point, I've noticed that when I post less frequently, but like there was a while I was posting like really good edited videos with a cameraman and shit, and less frequent, and I would get so much more likes and views versus if I'm just chronicling like physique updates, workout logs and stuff. I get so much less engagement, but I get more real life engagement doing that. If that makes
Yes.
sense, like people, I get
100
more. You know.
100%, dude. It's crazy because like you post a physique update from, and I'm like, ooh, that didn't even get any likes. Like no one said any. I'm like, okay, and you're not doing it for like that, but you're like, hey, this is what I look like, and then you'll get like at the gym, hey, I seen your update. You're like, did you even like it? Because I only got like 90 likes on that fucking thing, but I could do a
Yeah,
video on HRT and I'll get 20, 30,000 views. I'm like, what is going on? Like, should I
yeah.
stop bodybuilding or should I just be the HRT guy? Like, you start thinking that shit. Like, well, if no one's liking this, then why did I even post this? So you got to do it for yourself.
it,
Yes.
it makes it makes me think. In the past, I was a guy. I was like, I'll never post videos unless I just want to post it. I'll never follow the algorithm. But then the longer I do it, I'm like, but it's not for me. Isn't my page for other people? Shouldn't I post what they want to see since they're the ones watching it? But then I'm like, so now I'm like, here, I'm not against it, but at the same time, I'm like, it's not real. You post a reel and you get a shit ton of, like, let's say my most viewed reels ever. Right? I didn't necessarily grow my following. You get like temporary not fake followers, but you get like temporary followers who don't really follow the sport. But what is that doing for you? Nothing. They're not gonna use your code. They're not gonna pay for coaching. They're just there like, oh, I thought this video was cool because you were talking about steroids or you were making a joke or it was funny. But that's not real. That's not real life, you know. But you just chronicling like I love to watch Wyatt, Justin Wyatt, or Joe, just posing a physique update, posing update, because that's our demographic. So we want to see that. But yeah, but a random kid who just works out for fun doesn't give a fuck to see Joe's update, right? But that's okay. That's okay because those aren't the people who really support you. So I'm kind of back to just posting what I want to post, and that's about it. Not really caring about that too much, but I guess there is a balance to some extent, you know, especially if you got to promote brands, you do want to get some new audience people. You want to get a little bit of new audience, but you can't focus on that too much. So maybe a back and forth, you know. You know.
I'll tell you what, any supplement company, like Color Nutrition, Crazy Wear, I get here and there. I don't even know what Crazy Wear gets, but Cutler, I see the thing come Amino Asylum and Modern Amino. I'm like, dude, is it because I talk about steroids and HRT? Like, it's like my demographic is all that.
People
So
like
when I
that.
do put, yeah, dude, it's crazy. I mean, my most popular video was an airport video on a phone,
I was just about to say that,
bro.
and you're
That
like,
was
I'm on
that was the
steroids.
most craziest thing I've ever experienced in my whole entire life. That video,
Drugs. People
drugs.
love drugs.
Yeah, that guy
People
gave me
like that.
that guy at the airport gave me the fucking speaker to talk. Like, I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
you're in for it here. If this doesn't go, it's not going.
It's it's so much harder to sell protein powder than injectable pre-workout.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That just sells itself. People can't wait to inject some shit. Yeah, let's do it. You
yeah.
know,
Fuck yeah.
so that's the best way. If it was like back in the days when we used to have gear sponsors like fucking WFN, them shits used to fly off the shelf. Motherfuckers couldn't wait to get some juice.
Light it up. Light it up. Ready to do some calves right now, baby. What's up?
Yeah, you guys remember that, right? When they have some top athletes, fucking bro, like
LHW. Was it LHW?
Yeah, the first.
LWP.
Oh, that was the second one. Yeah.
Okay.
The first one was WFN. Then the homie went to jail. Then his partner started WLP. That's the one you said, right?
LWP.
Oh, I'm sorry. Live Well Farms.
Yeah.
I had worked with both of them, but there was some top athletes who were getting contracts and shit, and they would be like, "Thank you, LWP, for keeping me healthy and strong." Remember?
Healthy and strong, yes.
It was a bunch of them. I mean, I don't want to say all the names, but there was a bunch of them. There was a ton of them.
Yeah.
Big name athletes, you know. And then every couple months, a new big name athlete would come on, and we're kind of like, this is getting a little. I don't think you should do that. I think you're a little too popular to be, you know, pushing juice out here, you know. But I mean, they free for me. It was free steroids. You can't turn that down. Some of them were getting paid on top of free steroids, you know. And then the steroids started getting shittier, slowly shittier and shittier.
So I got an offer from a company that will remain nameless to basically do that, and they were offering to pay me $1,000 a month as well, and like as much as I wanted from their catalog. And I was like, okay, can you send me like purity testing results? And, you know, do you have a presence on the forums? You know, I was asking for all this stuff that's like anybody who's bought gear before, like they know that this stuff is like standard. If a source posts on one of these boards and they don't have like all of their receipts with like genomic testing reports and purity stuff and like, you know, they're communicating with the moderator team on the board to like prove that they have the stock and everything. They get laughed off immediately, right? So I was like, okay, you should be able to provide this for me, and they couldn't. They didn't have any of it, and I was like, oh, okay, so, no, like I'm not going to sell fake what are probably fake drugs to my followers, you know.
Well, you better than me, Stu, because I would have sent me some. I would have poked that shit, give it 2 days. We good, but
well, now I don't even know if like what they're sending me is real. You know, like I mean, I have nothing to go off of besides faith of a person I don't know.
Resell it and then buy your own.
Oh man, that's dirt. That's dirty. That's
you know, I told you about the Dr. Deadlift gear, right? And it was
vaguely,
there for, it was, they sent it to me, and I was during prep, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, do I really want to take this shit 2 weeks out? This is not smart. So I didn't take it. Then I waited off season. I'm like, my off season's going well. Do I want to risk it? And I couldn't do it. And I ended up giving it to a friend. I was like, hey, just so you know, this is just somebody said this to me. So if you die, I'm sorry, but this is not for me, you know. And he was fine. He said, you know. So Dr. Deadlift, if you're listening,
that company that made that offer to me, I've noticed that their athletes have stopped posting them. So I don't know if they even exist anymore. There were a couple of big name guys that were with them. So
I know
you're talking about.
I'm gonna ask you a question. It's very vague, but like, if you find a source, do you just ride that thing out? Just ride it out, or do you guys like trying different stuff just in case that source ever goes away?
I mean, if I like it, I like to have a backup source. Like, you know how you have a backup barber in case your barber out of town.
Yep.
I like to have a backup source, but I like to ride the same source until they go to prison or they get out the game. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, yo, have you heard from this company? Yo, he didn't get back to me neither. I'm like, oh.
That actually happened to me recently, to be honest with you. Not from main source. I was like, hey, you ever heard from this guy? Oh man, he's been MIA for like 3 weeks. He owes me X amount, X. I was like, well, good. I'm glad I didn't talk to that one. We're good there.
I was hearing about this source, and the prices were super low. And of course, the first time I go try it, put in a big order, I didn't get any communication back. I'm like, everything okay? So, I go start, looking up the forums, and everybody had the same situation. So they did one final grab, get all that money, and then they closed up shop. So
that's called an exit scam. Be aware.
Yeah. It's the worst because you can't do anything about it. That's it.
Hey, I'm trying to buy steroids, but
they do that reminded me of they doing like these like catching pedos video now when they'll call the guy to like Walmart and
love
then
those videos.
and the dude and he'll just boom rock him. Like, what are you doing? He's like, so call the cops. You don't want me to hit you? Call the cops. They're like, oh, I guess I can't. Guess you can't, bitch. Boom, call the cops. And they're like, fuck, you kind of got me. And then you start running and shit. And I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers, they don't. So some of them end up getting arrested too. But those videos are fucking crazy. I don't know. That's too much work for me. Konevsky used to do those videos, and then his YouTube got taken down from it. Actually, unfortunately, All right, let's see. Let's see if
we were talking about the Arnold a while ago. Really got. Did you guys already talk about it on Sunday?
Yeah.
Who do we have on? Y'all were on, right?
Yeah, we were on, and then Joe was falling asleep, and then Nate.
Yeah.
Stu, what was your favorite part of the weekend?
Honestly, hanging out with Nick Strength and Power.
Yeah.
Oh, cool guy,
dude.
I seen y'all take a picture at the statue.
I was at like 3 a.m.
Would y'all do party?
Don't worry about it. Yeah, Nick is super cool, and I want to turn that because like this is an annual tradition for him to like kind of like have a good time at the Arnold, and I'd like to partake in the future.
Yeah.
But him and all of his buddies are like really cool. We got to hang out with Hani and Brian, the guy who runs the whole show. They're all tight. So
yeah. Did you get to Oh, I'm sorry. Did you get? Do you think the Arnold was a better experience than the Olympia?
Oh yeah, like the expo itself is probably close to double the size, and like the number of people there is just over the top. Like it was definitely busier than last year by a good bit, and I mean Brian confirmed that when I asked him, if I'm remembering right. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I keep hearing the conversation where the Arnold surpassed Olympia, and it seems like according to everybody, it already has as a show. Just obviously the title in itself, it can't, just because the hierarchy, it can't surpass the title, can't surpass it. But I don't think that's the conversation. I think conversation is the show. I think the show has already surpassed it. The Olympia, as the production, as the show, as who likes it, who enjoys it, who has a good time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just talking about the stage and the lighting and like how the guys look and how it's ran, 100% is better at the Arnold because they don't have a bajillion dumb things in the background distracting. The lights are like the old school like lights that look good. The lighting at the Arnold is Hani was actually talking about this because Hani, like a guy like Derek doesn't look as good standing next to Samson at the Olympia in that lighting as he does at the Arnold, because the Olympia lighting is so shit that you can't see all the details and striations and cuts that Derek has, and you can't see them on Samson either. But it ends up creating, yeah, exactly. He doesn't have them, but like it creates less of a differential, right? If you can't see it on Derek, put him in the Arnold light, and now it's like, oh wow, yeah, he's way better, So I could see that being a factor. Just the stage that you're on.
Well, really, really good lighting might make Samson look worse. because you can actually see what detail isn't there, right? I remember we were watching the Olympia stream last year, and I couldn't tell if Samson was better or not. I remember I was looking, I'm like, I really can't tell because there's so much shading. Like he's dark, right? And I didn't know if he was in shape or not. I couldn't tell, you know. So it's like that might work in his favor because now you're focused on his shape and size more than anything, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas I think at the Arnold, it was kind of like once he came out, we kind of like, huh. After seeing Derek, we was kind of like, just the detail wasn't there. So I think it played into Derek's favor a lot more, you know. So I think it seems like everybody agrees that the Arnold is a better show at this point. So more power to the Arnold, and I feel like as Olympia, their pride should be hurt, and they should actually start listening to the fans and the competitors. I think that
they won't.
They haven't since fucking for the last 5 years. They haven't.
Like, dude, we've been saying this shit for years now, and they still don't change anything.
Yeah. They're probably gonna wait till it's too late. It might be getting late because a lot of people are. The only person missing was Hottie, basically, but they're getting the same lineups, you know. As far as the prize money, though, in all fairness, they do have to pay more people, so the Arnold are probably going to outdo them at some point. If if Arnold is allowed to, he's probably going to outdo them for a little while because he has more.
The like total head count, there's significantly more people attending the Arnold Expo,
Sure.
and there's more booths there. So like revenue wise, I'd bet that the Arnold from the Expo side at least, they're almost certainly making more money. As for like the rest of the whole thing, I don't know. I'm trying to think because the Arnold Classic, they don't have like a title sponsor. Wait, no, they do. It's like KSM 66. So I mean, the main revenue sources for the shows are going to be like the expo revenue. It's going to be tickets, and it's going to be sponsors. Um, so like expo revenue and tickets, Arnold probably wins. Sponsors, maybe the Olympia is more prestigious, and they get more sponsor money. I don't know.
They do have a lot of sponsors. Yeah, I think the Arnold said they said. I forgot. Didn't they say Mutant was?
Yeah, I think so. They were the
think it
title
was
sponsor this year.
Yeah, and then they had like a clothing sponsor, but I can't remember who it was. Who was it?
Oh, speaking of clothing, Young LA had like a fucking satanic temple erected at one end of the expo hall, like, you know, a few rows from us. And like they took over the entire end. Have you guys been into the Arnold Expo Hall before?
Oh, a long time ago. I used to work for BPI Sports, so
Okay.
it's been a fucking minute.
So you know how big that is, right?
Yeah.
Like they had fucking massive booth. Like I wish I had some pictures to show you.
I think a 30 by 30 is the biggest, right? Or no, the
no. Fuck, it wasn't even a booth. It was like they owned the entire end of the hall. Yeah, I think they said it was like 400,000 for the space, and then you know, like they had John Jones there for an appearance.
Oh wow!
And I think that was a couple $100,000. You know, just putting the thing up was extremely expensive. Like they had a whole gym inside of their area. It was insane.
Well, they have a relationship. Well, they were the clothing sponsor, I believe, but they have a relationship with Arnold because I don't know if Arnold was sponsored. Probably not. I don't think they could afford him. Well, they probably could at this point, but he made a post about Young LA before, so they have some kind of relationship going there. I think his son might be with them or something. Don't quote me, but he has some kind of relationship with Young LA. So yeah, they're probably going to be treated great over there, especially if they're one of the sponsors.
Yeah, the whole place was like their whole area was swarmed the whole day. Like there's so many little kids running around in their shit.
Oh, that's the fucking thing, bro. Like get into that on this goddamn podcast. Get me real mad. Fucking kids, bro. These TikTok kids and shit. I don't care. It's so. Listen, it's just. It's a fad. Like I want to see these kids 10 years down the road. They won't be doing this.
That's a good point. Yeah, like the sponsored athletes that they have on their team right now are not going to be with the company in 5 years probably, because what's the fucking title of the company? Young LA. When you're not 23 and beautiful anymore, you're pushing 30. It's like, oh, well, we're gonna bring in the new crop. Sorry, just like
Sure,
anything. It's like that with movie stars and just so how it is.
Some of them aren't going to age very well, but with all due respect, but most of them. I live in LA, so a lot of them do go to zoo, and some I don't know all of them, but some of them are actually really, really, really cool, really nice people. But I'm the big guy at the gym, so they're probably just nice to me. But some of them seem pretty cool.
I should correct that. Like, I haven't really had a negative experience with any of these people in my life.
No,
I don't interact with them, right? But they just come across as douchey.
I think it's just what we see online, and I know like online is the persona, right? You have to play a character if you're certain, right? Certain people have to play these characters. Okay,
Sure, yeah.
But I think coming from like our view as being in this community, and we actually we support each other, we understand what each other goes through. We look at these kids that they're like little fashion models. You're like, what are you? Like you've never. You're 150 pounds, kid. Like you got abs. It's fucking great. Like, and it's not about the physique. It's just like you have kids looking up to kids, and these kids got no experience into real life shit. So how are you supposed to promote a message of like?
I think that's what I think that's what rubs some of us wrong. It's not like a person. It's more of a what they stand for. It doesn't mean they're doing it on purpose per se,
No.
because they're just living their life. I think what we feel like some of them stand for, like the influence they have. So to be honest, like let's say not Shizzy, I'm sorry, Toji.
Okay.
So when I first, obviously, I didn't know who he was really, but I started seeing videos, and especially if you learn about somebody from the videos people make about them, it doesn't. So from what I saw, it seemed like he was a drug addict gambler that works out, and then I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. I'm like, why are they enamored by this? It seemed like a horrible message, and it didn't seem like he was a decent person. So I don't know. I didn't know him at the time, so immediately I'm like, this is horrible for the industry. Why would we want to promote this? This is stupid. But actually, like getting to know him from the gym and actually watching some of his content, he's not promoting that. This is just him living his life. That's actually his career. He's actually a gambler. It's not like somebody who's gambling with. This is how he made his money. I didn't know that, right? So, and he was actually the nicest person. Not just to me, because I'm the big guy. Like I said, I watch him and he's interacting with everybody, even some of the really annoying fucking people who are just doing the weird shit like clout chase and stuff. He's still super polite and nice to them. So I'm like, that's actually a good dude. Man, maybe I had it wrong, but still, what he represents, even if it's not his fault, is not really something we align with. But on a personal level, he's actually a pretty good guy, and he doesn't.
You have to fundamentally look at like the bodybuilding community and whatever like young LA and dark sport is as separate entities. There might be a little bit of overlap, because they're like kind of into fitness, but also the just lifestyle stuff. Like they're separate, and we see them being super popular off of what we perceive as very little work and graft. And then there's us over here that's it's not as popular as we used to be, and we're like, what the hell? Why aren't we up here? That's not fair. So like, yeah, like our community gets salty, and we, just inherently out of jealousy, frankly.
Yes.
Because like we don't, in our minds, we can't compute why are people looking up to this when it took like basically nothing in our eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to keep in mind that they're not to blame, right? Because
Yeah.
him being a gambler, he never said, "Hey, I'm a bodybuilder. I want to be part of the industry." He never said that. They did. The fitness media are the ones covering him, so they brought him into the and Young LA signing him, and let's say Greg Doucette making a bunch of videos about him. That's what brought him to. That's what brought him to the industry. He never said he was part of the industry. He's just fucking. He's just working out. So he's just doing what he does and working out. He didn't say, "Hey guys, I want to be one of you. I'm part of you. Let me influence your community." He
Yeah.
never did that. He's just living his life. So the funny part is, it's more so everybody else to blame than the actual person. We saw it with Sam. Sam never said, I want to be a pro. I'm going to be a pro. I'm a great bodybuilder. He never said any of that. It's more so everybody covering him is the one putting this potential on him that he never put on himself. So then it makes people turn around and say, this is bullshit. He's just turning pro because he's this, or, you know. So it's like, you can't be mad at him. All he did was film himself working out. But then a lot of people get mad at him because they think like it's almost like because they're watching other people's videos, they think this is his opinions, and he had zero opinions. He's never said anything about this. He's literally just a kid working out. Is that a fucking crime? Right? He didn't do anything wrong. So it's more so everybody else making them that person, and then we don't like that because we're like, why didn't you cover Derek Lunsford the way you're covering Sam? But how is that his fault?
Right.
I ask the people covering the sport, be like, maybe you should show Derek Lunsford love. He can't control what content they make. They know it's going to get views. Let's be real. That's right, and there's nothing wrong with that. They want views too. So it's more so. I think sometimes we get upset at the wrong person, but we can't help it because we want the sport to stay pure. But that's just not realistic. It's just if it's going to grow, there's going to be mainstream. There's going to be mainstream appeal, and it's going to appeal to different people, and it's going to bring people into the sport that we wouldn't probably hang out with, right, or go work out with. But that's fine. We still got each other, right?
Yeah.
That's why we're on the podcast. That's why we don't have.
I think one of the things that, and this is my opinion, maybe I look at it wrong. I think sometimes the bodybuilding community, and maybe it's not the bodybuilding community. So you guys correct me if I'm maybe misspeaking. I see a lot of negative stuff with people, but now thinking about it, I see a lot of negative stuff coming from outsiders in for the bodybuilding community, putting other bodybuilders down, putting competitors down. It's people that are not really, they're subjected into the bodybuilding community, but they're not true blood bodybuilders, if that makes sense.
That's true. Yeah,
And I think what happens is sometimes we all start to, I think he's right, or just like that kid, like you start to take other people's opinions into it, and you start manifesting or manipulating your own mind to say like, DT's a piece of shit because all he talks about is steroids. If someone makes a video on me and goes through it, like, you start to create this thing. I don't know. I just was thinking about how we can all come together and support each other. I think it's really hard in today's age due to all the negative shit that's out there.
100%. Yeah. And we're all subject to influence, even if we think like I can't be influenced. If you keep seeing a certain narrative, it does start to seep in a little bit. I can't, it's human nature. So you keep hearing the same shit, it starts to, you know what? And then you get a perception that maybe isn't, You'll never hear Jay Cutler talking shit about anybody. It'll be like the Greg Doucette or the Tragilis, right?
Yeah, that's where I was going. I started talking. I was like, I guess. I said, when you start talking and thinking at the same time, you're like, oh, fuck, I gotta maybe filter that a little more. But yeah, that's what I guess that's what I mean. I mean, I see a lot of shit talking, man. It's fucking terrible. All for clout.
Yeah, and Greg admits it. Like he's not. That's not really him. That's like a persona, and he's purposely being negative. Like he's open about it. Like right, he actually know he's doing exactly what we think he's doing, and he knows he's doing it. He just doesn't. Give a fuck. You're like,
I just want to say one thing. Like the hating that we do on this podcast is not for clout. It's for the love of the game. Okay, it's because we're pure. And we just hate.
Being honest, being honest,
being realistic.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, and this is because Greg Doucette did a video on my wife, and I watched it. Oh yeah. I watched because I think he needed something to post, so he I think he looped my wife into it. He did a whole video on her, and I watched it very thoroughly. But I have to say, people need to be careful because we're all real people too. So if I feel it was gonna go the way that I thought it was, then I'm very glad not. Like, we all got to go to trade shows, and you got to be careful who you're talking shit about because not everyone's like, "Hey, I'm just a bodybuilder and I'm big," Like you got to be careful. So putting stuff out there on people, everyone has to be careful of that too.
100%. Yeah.
Like,
For your physical, because if he made it about you, you'd be like, I don't care.
I
But
don't care.
it's your wife now.
But
Now
that's when you start.
sometimes
You're like,
you go whoa.
we're gonna watch this thoroughly, and we're gonna see what's
100%.
being
100%.
really said. When people talk shit about me, you can fucking whatever.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, that's a good point. You do have to be careful because you're still a real person, and
Right.
people we go to the same expos, and you never know. You never know when it comes.
Well,
to,
you never know who's going through what though.
Well, that's what happened over here in Texas. Joey Stacks and Big Boy got into it, and
Yeah.
my gym homeboys were a part of it, and we're back in Stacks until he pulled out the little knife thing. But it's just like it comes to a head at some point if you're talking the right shit. So.
Yeah. So you gotta be careful. That's why a lot of these people don't go to expos, right? Greg actually does though. Greg put a lot of people they don't go to expos because they're like, maybe
Well,
Nick should really have them at the expo. And
I was gonna say there's one individual that I just don't want to talk about, but
he hasn't been there for a while.
yeah.
Nick is like a Greg Doucette though. He's doing it intentionally for the money and views. His real life persona isn't actually not. I'm not saying it's fake or it's an act, but in person he doesn't. That's not his personality 100%. But it's more so he's somebody who doesn't care what he has to do to make money, which isn't a good thing, But because like you said, imagine if somebody talks shit about your wife, right? And you see them in person, like, oh, bro, it's just for the views, bro, nothing personal.
Okay.
You'll be like,
all right.
that's
well,
great.
I hope this gets views.
That's what I'm saying. So if that happens, you're like, okay, but you call my wife out of her name. Oh no, bro, it's like a joke. Okay, this is a joke too. Blow,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
exactly. Because I know that the thing that you do is like, hey, babe, watch this. Turn on that camera so we can get these views.
That's what I'm saying.
Because in a joking manner, you're like, yo, you want to joke about someone else's, you can talk shit about me, whatever. But once you start bringing your significant other into it or your kids, bro, it's like gloves off, bro. It doesn't matter at that point,
You can't say anything you want and say, oh no, it's a joke or it's not serious. Sometimes it doesn't count, Janicki posted a video of Mike and Greg and they made up, right?
Right.
And then what's his name? Mike. I'm sorry. Mike was like, yeah, initially when I saw your videos, I don't know there's like an alter ego. I don't know you like that. So everything you say, I'm taking literally. Like this is not for views. This is whether it's not for views or not, you're saying it. So I'm gonna take it literally, right? So I think
the one thing crazy about that interview is I watched is when Greg was like, well, I pick on people until they fight back. And if they don't, then I leave it alone.
yeah,
I'm like, that's crazy. So you're bullying someone until they say something, and then you keep going with it. I'm like, that's like...
Because if you think about it, he has really nothing left to keep him relevant besides that.
Right.
Fuck his cookbook.
Wait, to top it off, Janicki is there pleading for... They're both his best friends, literally. Mm-hmm. He's pleading for them to make up. And then after they make up, he's like, but I'm still going to post the videos talking shit. And he's like, wait.
What up, Justin?
Oh, it's good, right? He's like, yo, they're already edited, so I'm gonna post them anyway. There's probably like 10 videos. And Janicki's like, are you serious right now, bro? We just had this fucking peace treaty, and you're gonna post it. He's like, bro, do you need the money? You're fucking rich. You don't need the money. He said, yo, bro, don't post those videos.
And it was almost like he was like, but just let me post them. Like, just don't fucking post them. And what did he do? He went and posted a video talking about it. Like,
bro. He's like, no, it's not me, it's my brother. My brother Steve, he's mad. It's like, this is between y'all. He works for you. He's your editor. Like, he doesn't have final say. Like, this is your channel. It's like, and Janicki was like, yo, can we just stop this shit? Janicki was getting pissed. He's like, bro,
yeah,
you're my boy, but this is you wilding, bro. You bugging the fuck out. You know, he just I guess that's how he is. What's up? What's up, Justin?
What's up? Finally got on.
What up, bro?
What's up?
Yeah. How many weeks you looking?
3.5 today.
Oh damn! Holy shit! You posted any updates recently? Let me see. Maybe on your story.
Yeah, there's some on my story still, I think, from yesterday. No, there's not.
No?
I'll post one right now. How about that?
Oh yeah, post it right now. Let's see what's going on.
Show them glutes.
Cause I want to see how Justin looking.
You want the glutes or the front?
We got to see the glutes. We got to see the trademark grill marks.
Grill marks. Oh my god.
Grill marks are back in fashion apparently, because for a while there we didn't know if that was a prerequisite anymore. It looked like they were. It looked like the grill marks were going to, it was like, we don't need no grill marks anymore. But that's good for Justin.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some recognition. They were talking about the Detroit today on the Fuad's podcast.
Yeah, there's up to 25 G's for the first place.
Yep.
Wait, were you on?
Hmm?
Oh no, I'm sorry. What is it? That looks like it's you. Never mind. I thought that was. I'm looking at the.
About Nick.
It was Nick Walker.
Oh, yeah, Nick is on actually. Oh shit! I didn't expect to see that anytime soon. But
nature is healing.
2025 has been insane this year.
There you go. I posted two of them on my story.
So, no, that I think that's really good of Nick to do that. Let's see.
I don't know who was in the wrong in the first place. I don't know if it was Nick or Fuad.
I feel like in the industry it's just disagreements, and it's not always even right or wrong. It's just at the time of your life you felt this way, this person felt that way, and then we all grow and mature, and we all grow, man. I always say if you're not gonna punch him in the fucking face, let it go. So if you see somebody and you don't punch him in the fucking face, just leave it alone. But you know what? We bigger than this. Just shake your hands.
Wasn't it just over the sponsorship? That's all it was, right?
I mean,
was there more stuff?
It's been 3 fucking years.
That's what I'm saying.
Like who knows?
I don't care.
Most disagreements I feel like start small, and then it starts to pile up just because it's unresolved, and then you forget why you were even mad at each other. And then when you talk about it, you're like, what? How did this even start? And then you say it, and it sounds so silly. You're like, bro, let's just leave it alone.
Normally, if you say it out loud, what caused the problem? Normally, you're like, I was overreacting.
Yeah, my dad used to do that because obviously brothers, we always fight, and then he would break it up, and then he would be like the next day if we're not talking, he'd be like, I punch him in the face now. And like, why? He's like, you don't want to talk to him, right? You that mad, punch him in the face. I'm like, I don't want to punch him in the face. He's like, okay, so stop acting like fucking kids, even though we are kids. Stop acting like kids. I'm like, okay, fuck it. All right, let's see. Man's is they go to grill marks, but low key, you had the grill marks like fucking 10 weeks out. You do got an off season. How much are you disclosing weights or are you shy?
I don't care. I was 272 in these pictures this morning.
Holy damn. Fuck. Okay, well that's I didn't expect that, but okay, good job.
I didn't really expect it either to be this heavy. I don't know what to. But
yeah, that's crazy to be that heavy. Yeah, and you're like 5'10".
No, I'm a little under 5'10", honestly. I would like to say I'm 5'10", but I'm like 5'9".
Well, that only makes it more impressive.
Like Stu's taller than me, I'm pretty sure.
We're about the same.
Yeah, we're pretty close. What are you, 5'9", or you call yourself 5'10"?
No, I don't call myself 5'10". No, I call myself like 5'8.5".
Oh, maybe I'm 5'8" then.
You know what now? I kind of want to be 5'8" now too.
Me too.
I'm 5'8", I'm 5'8", 290. You know what I'm saying? I'm 290 though, but I'm 5'8", so I'm just dense. I'm more compact type shit, you know. So for the slant, I know. I might look a little tall because I like wearing my Crocs are high, but I'm 5'8".
Crocs.
My Crocs, yeah, the Crocs.
The elevator Crocs.
Like them big ass shoe boots people be wearing.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. All right, but just how you feeling 3 weeks? I'm surprised you were able to even talk and be on the podcast.
I was feeling it for a little bit, but I'm pretty straight, honestly. It's just, I can't really complain.
I love asking you this, but how low did you get as far as? Well, first of all, are you still going down, or are you kind of leveling it out?
Yeah, I want to probably bring another. Shit, I don't know. I want to bring another at least 6, maybe 10 pounds down.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think getting on stage at 260 is a far shot because like you can dry out and stuff like that. I don't know. We want to dig another week and a half, and then probably be done coming down.
Yeah. How low did your food get? Carbs and calories type shit.
Like my last meal of the day, every day is like 200 grams of potatoes. So that's my lowest meal. Like pre-training, post-training is still 150 grams cream of rice. And then we pulled down to 280 grams of rice on my other meals. So, I mean, still about 500 grams of carbs probably. And then probably every meal has added fat. So maybe 80 to 90 fats.
What the fuck?
I don't
know.
And I'm still eating, every meal is like 260 grams or 270 grams of raw weight, or not raw weight, but cooked weight meat.
Why are you eating that?
My high days are about 1,200 grams of carbs.
My guy eating raw steak.
No, I don't do it raw. I do cooked weight. Unless it's fish. It's fish, I'll do that raw because when I put in the air fryer, it gets down to like nothing.
You're 3 weeks out that's my off season diet, which is crazy. Doesn't make sense. And your cardio's
30 minutes on the bike and then 8,000 steps. We actually pull my steps down. But I was doing like 12 or 15.
That's my off season as well, 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Cardio. Yeah. That's wild. I mean, I think you got Stu beat on the metabolism, right? Stu, you don't be that high, that close to the show, you know? That's insane. That's crazy. I think your mic off, Stu?
Is it?
Oh, no, never
I heard it.
Yeah, that's just insane, man. That's insane. But since you're on Wyatt, I'm assuming you watched the Arnold. Who impressed you, and what did you think about the lineup as far as Arnold classics go?
I know everybody's been saying this, but I'm pretty sure this is one of the best Arnolds in a while. Like as far as just everybody being on, like there really wasn't anybody off, except for like Patrick Moore. You know what I'm saying? Or like Carlos was kind of off, but like Patrick Moore was really, really off. But who impressed me, of course, probably is like everybody's Derek. That was a crazy look.
You know what? I was looking at Carlos's pictures. I still think that's the best Carlos we've seen, even though obviously in that lineup, we just said one of the best lineups. He wasn't lean enough to be competitive, but I don't think he's been.
What did you just say? What did you say?
Me?
About Carlos? You said that was the best we've seen him.
I don't think Carlos has been leaner or bigger than that before.
I think Texas.
Well, I think he was in the same condition as Texas, but he's bigger now, technically. But that's just my opinion. I don't know for sure. But in that lineup, well, he would have had to beat who placed above him? Sean Clarita?
James.
Okay, so yeah, he would have had to beat James, and to beat James, he would have to be peeled. I mean, right? So it's like even if his condition was better, he would have to be peeled to place anything above where he placed, right? it's just one of those things, you know. So I'm sure he's disappointed, but it's just more work to be done is all. It's not like he's so fucked up, so far off, you know. It's more so in comparison to himself. I'm just saying. I'm not saying compared to like the top guys. In comparison to himself, I still think it was at least matched or surpassed his last showing, you know. But it's still a ways to go.
His last showing. I still think his best of all times was Nationals.
Yeah, I would say I could see that. He was a lot smaller then, but I guess peaking wise, I could see that conditioner. You talking about conditioning?
Yeah, conditioning. He actually had glutes then,
Some lines,
decent.
some lines.
Yeah.
It wasn't super deep, but he had some lines in his glutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that show, so I remember he looked pretty freaky.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, huh?
We ran into Carlos's dad at like 2:30 in the morning on the street, and he was very drunk, and he explained everything to us, me and Nick. So everything's going to be better in Detroit.
Good to hear. Yeah, everybody's rooting for Carlos. He's hard not to like, bro.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah,
not everyone.
That's why we're critiquing him. So we want to see him better. Wait, what?
You said not everybody. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna be some people. But I feel like anybody I talk to about Carlos, they're like, not only do they see his potential, but they just want the best for him because you don't get more humble and a nicer guy than Carlos, and he works his ass off. It's always I get why people would think this, but when somebody doesn't bring their best condition, people usually assume that they didn't work hard enough. But Carlos works his ass off. You know, it's just it doesn't. That's not how it works. Sometimes some people work too hard. I thought Derek worked too hard at the Olympia, right? He came in, so it's like
yeah.
It's not always. It's not. It doesn't always come down to more and more and more. We got to work harder. These people work hard. I don't think you're gonna even be in this position if you don't understand hard work. You know, you wouldn't even make it this far. Yeah.
I think what you're saying is right, but I also think that a lot of times when people work too hard, they're in too conditioned. So I think sometimes a conditioning thing is sometimes you do need to work a little harder. You do need to eat a little less. Like number two, he needs to get his ass peeled. There's all there is to it.
Yeah.
When he's saying he's eating 3 eggs, he's not just eating 3 eggs. He's eating 3 eggs and he has a shake with ISO and oatmeal. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about Simpson?
If you've ever watched his videos, I hate when they say, "Oh yeah, I ate 3 eggs." It's like that 3 eggs, bro.
Well, even if it was just 3 eggs, that's one meal though. There's still 5 other meals.
Yeah. He's never probably eaten a no carb meal. I'm sure.
Probably not.
And he only walks on the treadmill for his cardio, and he does nothing else the rest of the day, really. So it's like you could be doing so many more things.
Which that might work for somebody's, but not for that body, right? If you watch the mutant, not the mutant interview, what's it called? It's just bodybuilding. With Justin Harris, he said Brandon was having no carbs.
Yeah,
they said on his rest days, just veggies. No, I guess not no carbs because veggies, there's fiber.
Well, he was saying that he was giving on 12 grams of total carbs with vegetables. So he'd be eating like spinach, not like broccoli. It has a bunch of carbs in it.
Yeah, but think about that. That's not something. I know for a fact there's guys who wouldn't do that. If your coach said no fucking carbs, they would be like, "Yo, I'm still gonna have some carbs," you know. Like not everybody's that coachable, and also that's what he was willing to do. Was Brandon hottie shredded? No, he'll never be hottie shredded because that's just not his genetics. But to your point, he did what he needed to do. Period. Right?
And he didn't complain about it either.
No, and he bought his best condition. I would argue one of his best looks.
Yeah,
I was talking to somebody online about this, and he was like, "No, Brandon was so much better at the Olympia," and I was like, "He was bigger, but I wouldn't say he was. I don't think he was in this condition when he won the Olympia. I don't think so, at least.
No.
So yeah, so it shows. It shows. He worked his ass off, and he got his reward. Now somebody like Andrew, I think Andrew looked like he might have worked too hard for this prep because in Friday his legs were down. He was definitely a lot more conditioned in Texas, but I don't think it was a better look, personally.
It's not always about working harder. Maybe just something didn't go right in the prep.
That's true.
Even Aceto misses sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it just happens.
And
like maybe there was a certain judgment call. Like, I don't know, where you notice, like, it's only like what this realistically, it's like his third time working with him, like for a show. I think he did Texas, the Olympia, and then now, right?
Yeah.
So it's like he might notice now next time that his back is flat, but his legs are still full. So he needs to bring them up a little bit, or maybe vice versa. Like he needs to find what he'll do is find a spot on that body to look at. Like that's his indicator. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like this one glute line. When it comes in, you're ready. You're done. Or like, this striation in your shoulders or something. It'll be something little that Chris will pick up on and he'll figure it out. And like maybe he didn't figure it out that time and went a little too far and couldn't bring it back. There's all kinds of stuff. But I think it's the same thing with him and Samson. If they just were get dug deep, bro, and when you fill them out, if you're super peeled, it's super hard to spill and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You're not walking as much of a line, but I don't know what they do as far as their peaking protocols. So who knows?
Yeah. When it comes to Aceto, even when Aceto misses, it's not but it's not a true miss because he's listening to judges or his client's feedback. So if he comes to Texas, which I believe was his best look by far, and the only critique is, hey, come in leaner. Just at least 5-10 pounds leaner. And that's what he did, right? It's just that it doesn't always look how the judges would think it would look. So even though it's a miss as far as it wasn't his best, there's a reason why he did it, right? He didn't just randomly fuck up. It's more so like he was trying to follow directions and bring him in lighter. It just maybe didn't bring the look they thought it, It just didn't bring the looks.
It's like when they talk about Aceto and Akeem, like just bring the Saturday night package on Friday. It's like that's hard to do. Like that's all the way down to even like cortisol. Akeem might have a lot of cortisol going into that Friday, and he has the show and shows up, and then cortisol releases, and now looks better. It's all kind. There's more things that go into that than just how many carbs, how many fats, how many proteins, how many minutes of cardio, stuff like that.
Because he said they don't change anything. He said the first time they realized they look better on Saturday, he just started doing the Saturday protocol on Friday. And then now it's the same protocol, right? They do the exact same thing and he just still looks better on Saturday. So that tells you, there's other factors why. That's another day being in Columbus, not training, not doing cardio, and just relaxing with no pressure. That's sometimes, that's sometimes what it takes,
I'm sure Akeem's running out Dactone fucking 2 weeks out.
Yeah, he kind of has to though, bro. Like he's
one of those. You can get away with it.
Yeah, with Aceto, if your body can take it, he'll dish it out. He'll let you have it if your body can take it.
Sometimes it can't. But for some reason, we don't talk about that.
There's always a possibility that sometimes, especially for white guys, you got to be careful with diuretics, man. I gave one guy
delicate little flowers.
I swear, I gave a guy 2/4. Is that even a thing? 2/4. I had him cut the diazide in 4 pieces, and he took 1 a.m., 1 p.m. And then he cramped on stage and he couldn't even pose. Yeah. And this was somebody who was still.
Did you cut his water at the same time?
No, I increased his sodium. So I increased his water, increased his sodium, and it still happened. So then I'm like, well, the look is great, but I mean, he got 4th because he couldn't pose, right? He locked up. So at that point, now you have to figure out, how do I get that look without the diuretic? Maybe manipulate water without the diazide, but
Water.
yeah. But my point is that sometimes it's not as extreme as you think. Nobody would think two quarters of a diazide would allow you to cramp up, But like Stu said, sometimes it just doesn't work, What else? What else do you do? Do I say step on stage, no diuretic, and just figure it out? That's a lot of time they put into the show. I don't want them to step on stage not peaked. So you give them the first quarter. How you feel? Let me see you pose. No cramps. No cramps. I feel great. All right, let's pop that
Hammer down that other one.
he lucky I didn't give him a full diazide after that bitch.
Hey.
Motherfucker, he would have been a statue on that motherfucker. But and for me, I've never cramped at all. No matter what I do, I've vomited backstage. I've went no water 2 days, no food. There's no cramping at all happening with me. Just different body types, and that's no.
I've never cramped either. I've never really taken a lot of diuretics, but I just have never run into that, even when I restrict my water and stuff.
Yeah, some people don't get that. Yeah, with or without diuretics, and some people cramp. They take Clen and they cramp. 12 weeks out. So
Take some touring. Do y'all get sore as hell like after the day after your show, like from posing?
yeah,
Like your ass cheeks and hamstrings will just be fried.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lower back.
Yeah.
Pause. Whoa, at lower back, ass cheeks. What are we
Freaky from
talking
the
about?
back. This is what happens when you're freaky from the back dating.
Oh no! All right, let me see if there's anything worth talking about.
Did you see Patrick snapping on Aceto?
Which Patrick?
More. He said that he didn't hear from
Oh
Aceto
my god!
all weekend or something like that. Bro, he said that shit, but between prejudging and finals, he didn't even wait till after the show.
I think he has a history of just being a very
Drama queen.
Yes.
He did that. That's the thing. Like whether or not it did or didn't happen, you'll notice something about accountability, right? You'll notice that people, there's going to be people who always have something to say after every show, right? It's always something. It's a sponsor. It's never me. It's always something else. And then you take people like, have you ever heard Samson, say, well, that. He didn't even want to talk about Milos. Like everybody else was trying to get it out of him, but he didn't want to say shit. He just takes it on the chin, keep it moving. And those are the people that improve and win. Derek didn't really want to say anything about Hani neither, but they kept prying.
He didn't say anything bad.
No, but they kept prying him at that interview, and he kind of glossed over it. Well, he talked about a little bit more into it, but he didn't want to.
Here's the thing about all this shit is if you go back, during a prep, before a prep, while they're working with them, they're the best fucking coach in the world. That's how it always is. Something little happens, this fucking coach sucks. This fucking coach doesn't know this. I mean, bro, Matt was the best fucking coach, like one of the top coaches, and then he lets himself slip. He did slip. He admitted he slipped up and didn't prioritize shit, and now he's automatically the worst coach. And the same thing with Patrick. You can watch his video on Muscle and Strength. He did like the Muscle and Strength, the day in the life food or whatever. There was a video, and he was like, I'm so glad I went back to Chris. I should have never left Chris. I went and worked with another coach. Should have just stayed home. Chris is my home. And then something like this happened. Bro, you look like shit anyways. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, his look was not based off a diuretic. No, it's not. He came to Chris at 6 weeks out. If I was Chris, I would not have said no. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, but when he worked with Dom, and same thing, this is the best coach ever. Everything's great.
Exactly.
Everything's good.
Exactly.
And then on stage, he's like, this wasn't right, and it goes from the best ever to the worst ever. That's a pattern, man. That's a pattern.
But there's no respect. There's no respect after. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of those people, he probably did whatever he wanted to do anyways during that whole prep, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? Like there's those type of people that just do whatever they want anyways.
Bro, it's always the athlete. I'm sorry, it's always the athlete. Like from what I see and what it's always the athlete, especially if they always have something to say about it. You know, there's always that common denominator. You see the good athletes, they change coaches. Derek Lunsford, they still fucking look great, if not better. That's usually what happens. And the people that hop from coach to coach and always look not where they should look, right? It's been 6 years since the Olympia he got 10th, and we haven't seen one improvement from all the coaches he works with. So are all these coaches not doing their job? No, it's not about the coaches, right? So I think we have to take accountability. Everything can't be somebody else's fault. You know,
realistically, if you look at everything involved in him, he just spiraled out of control. His life is just out of control right now. Anyways,
yeah, man. Well, I think there's something to be learned there. Like, look in the mirror. Same thing. If you're always having horrible relationships and it's not happening, you have to look at yourself and be like, what can I do to make this better? It doesn't mean you didn't date shitty people, because you could have, but try to look within and be like, how could I have made this better?
Maybe you attract shitty people, and that's also your fault.
It's possible.
Shit attracts, or what is it? Shit attracts flies.
Boom. So then adjust yourself and take accountability instead of saying everybody's shit, even though I'm sure it feels like it, because it does. I'm speaking from personal experience as well,
Hey,
but
sometimes it takes, you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I'm being shit.
Yeah. And then when you do that, you can reflect and be like, you know what? Maybe there's something to be learned here. And then you change and you get better. If you think you're perfect, how can you improve? It's the coach's fault. I'm perfect. Why would you improve if you think you're the perfect specimen? You don't. You come back the same and you continue to look the same. That's how life goes. So that's unfortunate, but it's not always the coach, I mean, look at Chris. Look what Chris is. Chris had Andrew. Chris had Derek. Chris had
Akeem. He had
Akeem.
Matt Grego. He had Ollie.
Boom.
It was a Cedos weekend, put it that way.
The last 10 days he had Ollie.
Yeah. I didn't know about that till after.
Ollie didn't complain. Ollie didn't even talk shit about George Farah.
No.
Because he just keeps it moving. He's worried about doing the best he can to get the result, and that's what it's all about. So,
I thought Ollie was always prepping himself. When did he start working with Farah?
I think Farah's been doing it for a while.
Oh, I thought he worked with himself.
Yeah, which is what made it so surprising when he just dumped him like a bag of rocks.
Yeah, now Farah has a different reputation from Chris as far as getting back to clients. From what I've heard, so I can see that. People do like Farah as a person. I hear he's a really nice guy, but when it comes to the coaching, people do seem to have I don't think he's, once again, like the Matt Jensen's later years thing. That's not their focus, And if it's not your focus, sometimes you should just maybe not do it so much.
Yeah, if it's not your focus, you should just be honest with it.
Yeah, and then
I wish I was at a point where I didn't have to coach some people.
Yeah, these motherfuckers is rich, bro. Yeah. George is rich. Matt is rich. Motherfuckers, you shouldn't be coaching. You good. You don't need the money. So
fuck no. It ain't the money for them at that point.
No. All right. Let me see.
You got to talk about Sam already. Might as well.
So look, I think I've only spoke with it. We haven't really spoke about that, honestly. Let's see. Well, Sam don't post.
How do y'all feel about it? Y'all think you should have won or what?
After watching those call-outs, yeah.
You have it winning? Okay.
I mean, in the overall, those other two guys were in more condition and had a more classic look. So I don't know.
What does that mean? Classic look. I think
skinnier, more aesthetic looking.
Skinnier? What? We're wording skinnier now?
Well, because that's what they're talking about on the podcast, Full Odds podcast. What is classic? Like,
I think everybody has a different idea in their mind, and that's a problem. I know what you're talking about, Alyssa. I don't mean to be rude or anything.
That's a blunt way to put it, but if like you just have a skinny look to you, you're more aesthetic looking. And Sam doesn't look skinny; he looks like a bodybuilder.
I think Sam will be a bodybuilder, but that's like Mike the Badass. Who looks more classic, realistically, Logan or Mike the Badass?
Yeah, but the problem is literally what Stu said. Why does Logan look more classic? So Alyssa's point and Stu's point is kind of the same point, because Logan does look more classic to me, but literally because he's smaller, which is kind of fucked up.
It's the skinnier look, and it's the same thing with me. When I started, I was like skinny and scrawny and less muscularity, and I had that classic look. But as I start getting bigger, when I hit the classic poses, I'm like, those look like shit.
Well, I think what you're actually saying is actually your bone structure.
Bone structure matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then Mike the Badass, I believe, actually has a better bone structure than Logan, but he doesn't look as classic as him because he's so filled out. Like if you look at his,
I don't know how he makes weight.
Bro, it's impossible. He looks like Martin. He looks like Martin Fitzwater in classic trunks. I'm like,
it's crazy.
But if you look at his V taper, I actually believe he has a better, because Logan's doesn't have that clavicle width he has. But because of he's lighter and he's able to hit poses a certain way, it makes him look more like what that standard kind of should be. So I'm watching it. I'm like, yo, I could see Logan winning this, and then they stand together, and I'm like, boy, he's so much bigger than him that it would be a travesty if he didn't get it, because he's making the weight. He's almost just as conditioned. He's as conditioned as anybody needs to be. Logan was on a whole different level of condition probably, but Mike was as conditioned as any human being needs to be. And he's just so much fuller and rounder. And he's still aesthetic. You couldn't not give it to him.
I think what it is Mike, he looks more bodybuilding, which we all love bodybuilding. That's why we do it. So we automatically are drawn to him, like the freak factor. Mm-hmm. But then like Logan looks more like C-Bum looked. But I think Mike poses very classical. It actually helps his physique. If he would just hit all the shots like a bodybuilder would, like straight on, he would not look near as classical. But the way that he poses it, like he works it. So it's like the standard has always been C-Bum. There almost needs to be a criteria, but you can't really put a criteria on bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were to put the criteria on bodybuilding, you probably would have Samson as the winner as far as like just the overall look. But then you take Derek and you got this, he's completely peeled. And people
is that a question? Is Sam aesthetic?
I just want to know, like, do y'all think 100% he would have won it if he wasn't Sam Sulek? That's my question.
No.
I can't say 100%. I can't say 100%, but it's not. I don't think it's controversial. Like taking his name out of there. Let's say he wasn't Sam Sulek. He was Bam.
And Bullock.
I don't think if he would have won, people. Well, first of all, people aren't that invested in the Arnold Classic, so I don't think people would be upset.
All right, that's my question. There you go. If he would have done Nationals, would he have won Nationals?
No, of course not. But no,
because the Nationals is so much deeper.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say even the Arnold in a deeper lineup, even if he was Sam, he wouldn't have won. Like let's say okay, I'll go this far. The look Larry bought at the Arnold last year, and Larry got second. Larry would have beat Sam. Was his legs smaller? Yes, but he was so peeled in the legs, and he had glute lines, and he was just in great condition everywhere else. Such a wide frame. I still think he would have beat Sam. Granted, Larry is popular too, so we wouldn't know.
Sam was like everything that you could see on him was conditioned. Like he had his trunks covering his glutes like it was 2018 again. You know how they used to wear them?
Yeah.
So like everything you could see on him though was like in shape. He was in shape. I just don't know if maybe he had straight glutes, maybe he didn't. Yeah. You guys are the experts on this.
From the side.
there's levels to conditioning, and I think when you do your first show, this is still,
That's the thing. Is it's only his second show. He did all that shit by himself. You know what I'm saying?
That's definitely, yeah.
I think the next step for him is to get somebody replicable, like that can actually help him do right.
Well, Hani said he retired from top level competitors. He didn't actually say he retired from coaching. So
Hani ain't gonna coach nobody.
Hani is not coaching Sam.
No,
that would be a terrible thing.
We'll just leave it at that.
Be great clickbait.
You're not gonna leave Derek to coach Sam, but I agree with Stu. I think Sam was in shape. I don't think he was peaked. I don't think he was peaked at all. I think he was in shape. He had to lose probably 5 pounds of tissue, get in shape, and then he ate up a little bit, maybe. But he wasn't peaked, but he was lean.
Swedish fish. That's how he prep. That's how he peaked. Swedish fish.
Oh, that's not good. Nice. But his the guy next to him, I don't remember the
title. Class or overall?
Oh, I think it was overall. Somebody was smaller but peeled.
You talking about the little Chinese guy?
I think he was Chinese. I remember seeing a back shot.
He wasn't big enough. He wasn't going to win. He was little.
Yeah. So yeah, there were people more peaked than him. I think he bought enough to win personally. I don't think it was like blatant like this guy won because of popularity. It might have helped, but I felt like he bought enough to win. It just so happened.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
We just know that wasn't with all due respect to the competitors. I don't even know if this is probably gonna be a video. Maybe. With all due respect to all the competitors, it just wasn't a deep classic show. It wasn't a deep classic show. So maybe he chose wisely. I don't know. It kind of lucky.
It all depends who shows up, right?
Yeah.
The best class in the whole amateur show was the super heavy. That was pretty good class.
Yeah.
So specifically the super heavy, because the other classes would. Because at first I saw a few people say that bodybuilding wasn't deep, but now I was like, but now I know what they meant. Overall, it actually wasn't. But the super, for whatever reason, the super is usually not as right. It's usually like the heavyweights and the light heavy that are more competitive. For whatever reason, every super, even the retired supers, everybody fucking decided to jump in this show. Shit, I haven't seen A-Train compete in years, and he chose this one. Everybody.
I wonder who coached him.
I know this, but we all knew that he had the genetic potential to obviously to turn pro. It just, first of all, was he going to step on stage, and was he going to be in shape? And
I want to know what they did between the week before and that week, because it was two different bodybuilders.
Probably cut out the chicken thighs.
Yeah, probably.
I think I'm gonna have him on Sundays too, so you can get on.
Yeah.
I mean, if he does, I don't think he's afraid to say he likes the chicken thighs. Because I mean, it worked out for him. Yeah, he definitely dropped some serious weight. But this is the good thing about competitive shows, because if he would have won in that show and won the overall easily, which obviously everybody would expect him to win it easily, but he didn't win it. He got second.
Yeah.
So that's what that's gonna do, is piss you off, and then now you're gonna go above and beyond, and that's why he won. Imagine if he would have won that show easily. He probably would have came into the show the same, right? And then he probably Janicki would have probably beaten him, because Janicki was still in better shape than him, but he was the better physique, and he was in good enough shape to beat Janicki, to say that, so it worked out. That loss was a win. I literally made a post about that, a video about that before the Arnold, about that, because we had a conversation about that, and it worked out exactly how I thought it was going to work out.
You did one of them floating head videos?
No, I don't like the floating heads. I just do like I just literally, like, I'll film my workout and I'll be talking in between sets, and every once in a while I'll be like, the conversation I had was way more interesting than the same fucking back workout I've been doing for the last year. So then I end up just posting that segment instead of the fucking workout, you know. Or I might recycle the workout and post it later, you know. But but yeah, so
I'm looking at his pictures right now.
ooh.
Like Anthony's.
Yeah, so from the front, he looked really good shape from the front. Even from the back,
He
just
looked
not.
really good.
I thought so. Well, put it up. Share it with us.
Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, there's a way. Somebody did it last time.
Shit.
Oh, okay, yeah, you can share simultaneously. Yeah,
I
you can
can't.
share it. Try to share it.
I can't, dude. I got my bookmarks bar open. You can't see that. Let me see if I can.
Should I pull it up or no need?
Yeah, why don't you do it, man?
Let me see. That's gonna take too much work, man. Oh, there you go. Perfect. I'm a lazy host, man. Don't make me do too much. But yeah, I thought he was like I mean, bro, he's a really big guy with really good shape. Like that guy doesn't have to be as shredded as I thought the fucking what's the guy Vanderfly? I thought Vanderfly was probably more appealed than everybody, but yeah,
Yeah, he was
right.
probably the best shape, but his structure not yet.
That's what I'm saying. So it's more so what you have to be to beat that lineup. You know, it has to be good enough to make your physique look. Did it work for you? I clicked allow.
Hold on.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Roden. That's what it is.
Who?
A-Train.
Yeah,
Can you see that?
He's a lot bigger, bro. Oh, yeah, I see it. That pose looks like Roden, low key. It does actually.
Yeah, he has the same type of quads. Like those round, like you can see all the heads of the quads, but they're so round. Where like white guys, a lot of times they don't have that roundness. They have just like you can see the heads.
I think this is good condition for this level of competition. Obviously, if it was the Pro Arnold Classic, that.
I mean, he's not peeled by no means, but he's pretty good shape.
Yeah,
we're talking about the back pose that we're looking at now.
Yeah, bro. He don't have Lunsford glutes, you know.
Compared to his week before, that's like a total different bodybuilder.
Yeah.
The week before, he looked like he drunk 4 gallons of water.
I know what he looked like the week before. And just okay.
If he like in the comparisons in this shot, like he still had enough attributes to beat some of the guys in the lineup. I thought Janicki actually won the back double, which used to not be a strong point for him. Yeah, he got lines too. Yeah, see.
His front is like hard enough. It's kind of like Max Charles. His front was always hard, but his back was always soft.
Yeah, when Max turned pro, he didn't have no lines in his glutes. With all due respect, you remember that when he won the USA's?
No, I don't remember back that far.
You guys are young. I forgot. You guys are. He was just like big as shit with crazy abs and crazy chest. But somebody said it. It was an interview. He was like, I think it was Dave. He was like, you weren't hard from behind, but you were so crazy from the front. You won. And then Max was like, I disagree. I think I was the hardest from behind. And Dave was like, okay. Okay. But yeah, sure. But I thought he was hard enough to win that. I mean, as a pro, he's gonna have to be in better condition for sure, you know. But the tools are there. The tools are there. As long as he continues to improve, and your best friend is losing, because if you win and you're not 100%, what does that do, right? You just bring the same. You know, you have to lose to bring your best, which is we saw Derek's best, but we didn't see Samson's best because one lost, one won. You know, so shout out A-Train.
It makes the Olympia good.
It makes it really good. And don't forget Hadi. Hadi he's not your normal bodybuilder. Hadi is like he looks at this like a fucking war or battle or some shit. He takes it very personal. So let's not forget Hadi as well. Hardy beat Samson last year pretty easily, and he's beat Derek, multiple times. So,
Question is, who's going to coach him?
Matt Jansen.
Probably work.
Or I want to see him with AJ Simmons. That's what I want to see.
That'd be wild.
He's either gonna either be peeled or in the hot. Let me not say it. This is just fucked up. That's mean. That's mean. Let me gotta hold myself back. Or we're gonna have to throw away the whole podcast.
Hardy probably can take anything he wants to. He probably like has perfect blood work or something.
Yeah. Do you think Hardy actually has to like do a lot of shit to get in shape, like cardio and diet? I feel like he's just always in shape all the time.
Well, we don't know because we know Hani is very low, like on food. He always has this guy on like low food, like high days of like, add an extra 100 grams of rice to a meal. Like this shit ain't nothing.
Yeah.
But AJ like feeds people up hard.
Yes. So does Chris. Chris did that too. Yeah. Well, shout out. Oh, we got some questions today. Good.
I'm gonna run, guys.
Oh, yeah, do your thing, DT.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys as always.
Right,
thank you guys.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I got about 10 more minutes too.
All right, bet.
Do one question and I'll call it a
day. Everybody stay put. No, nobody's going nowhere. Everybody goes.
Hold the gun up to your head.
All right. Do you like Samson's vacuum front double bicep? He said FDB. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Do you like Samson's vacuum front double or prefer abs in? I feel like his abs are distorted in vacuum. No, I feel like his abs were just distorted. I'm sorry. Just in general.
I like his vacuum better than anything else. I've never seen him crunch his abs. Not many people can pull off like a Dexter thing.
Be careful. Yeah, well, he does it when he gets tired of holding the vacuum, but he does it to the side, like Flex, not Flex, Sean Roden.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention, I guess.
Samson does this, and if you hold it long enough, he resets to the side. It doesn't look that good. Yeah. And I think this person got it a little bit wrong. I think it's better when he does hit the vacuum because we've seen him, especially like this show, his abs have a little bit of washed outness to it, or like this distension or something. I don't know, something's going on. Yeah. I like the vacuum personally. Yeah. You like the vacuum?
Like the vacuum.
Yeah, I think that looks better on him. Yeah,
on Derek too.
I think he has one of the best front doubles probably there is.
Yeah. Do you think he beats Derek on the front easily, or it's close?
It's close. I like how Derek was hitting it this time, pushing his hips way back.
I thought I don't know if I don't even know if Steve judges it pose by pose, but I actually had Derek win the front double this show, but not at the Olympia.
His paper is so insane, and if he keeps his quads full enough where they still have that sweep coming outside the edge, like then it's he wins it. But if he loses that sweep, then it's like a little closer, you know.
The reason I like Samson's better is even though there's not a lot of detail in his arms, there's way more than Derek's. And it's just kind of weird when Derek throws his up and they're just like literally his arms are just a blob. There's no like bicep, tricep, so it's like that's the only reason I kind of like it better.
Why do you think that people's arms are like that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Honestly, I know what you're thinking, but there are some people who have always had just like no separation in their arms.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I think because I know people that do that and they have plenty of separation.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like Andrew has a lot of separation in his arms. You know, yeah. I'm not correlating anything. I'm just saying. You know, Andrew has a lot of.
Andrew doesn't shoot his arms. I don't believe that.
I'm not saying
super freaky peaks, and like they're so abnormal
Yeah.
They look shot up, but they're not.
That's like
I'm
saying because he has abnormal arms is like he has crazy abs. Like you don't shoot your abs. You know what I'm saying? Like he just has almost like I don't even know which one to say, like Lego pieces for body parts.
yeah.
Yep.
It's like his calves. They just like that, That's just how they are.
Let that smirk off your face, you hater.
No, I'm kind of being addicted. I got back on cycle. I'm sorry. I think
You definitely are being kind of
I'm being kind of a dick.
I'm the testy one, bro. Leave that to me.
I'm sorry. I'm just. I forget I'm recording sometimes. This is how I am off camera. I shouldn't do
You're
that.
the nice guy host, okay?
Yeah, let me be. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Andrew. I like your calves. Do you pick one person to go on? If you had to pick one person to go on Joe Rogan to promote bodybuilding, who would you choose?
Big Cutler.
yeah. I'd say Samson's a good one too.
Yeah,
You know who would get really deep about bodybuilding though? James.
James will talk about a bunch of other random shit with Joe Rogan, which I guess would be entertaining. But
what about Dorian Yates?
I mean, he's been on.
Oh, he has?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
okay.
Got into a little Holocaust denial in there. It was good.
I think it's better when the conversation doesn't stay on bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I think it's better when you see the personality as well, because I think bodybuilders are looked at as like it's just about lifting and eating, and like they don't have personality.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer to go somewhere else. So
who would you say?
like somebody said James. I think that's pretty good. I think like if you could understand him, maybe Nathan Diasha. He would talk about all type of crazy shit.
No, I wouldn't have Nathan on there.
I kind of like that shit because the general public, I want something to pull them in because most of them don't really care about bodybuilding. So
it would be entertaining as hell for sure.
Yeah, because Joe Rogan's, we gotta think about his platform. We're thinking about it from us, but that's not the majority of his viewers. So I don't think it does anything if they're sitting there talking about hit training and and keto dieting. I don't think that does anything. I think it's more of like, yo, that guy's super cool. I want to follow him. And then when you follow him, then you see about the Olympia. Then you see about other things. We already follow them, so we're not growing the sport by following. So I feel like to attract other eyes, I think it's better that it's not about bodybuilding at all. They just happen to be a bodybuilder.
But then again, this is bodybuilding. This is why we do it. It's not. It's different. So you kind of.
Yeah, but we're talking about Joe Rogan. Like, if they're on Joe Rogan, I think it's best we show personality. Which that's why Dorian is kind of good, because it wasn't all about bodybuilding, but still about bodybuilding. That's just the way I think. But
yeah, I'm glad my dad was on there.
Yeah. But
Missed that.
I do like James. I think James is. I like how he's kind of like he could get pretty deep. He could get pretty deep.
Yeah, I think James would be a good one.
Yeah. Who else we got, man? Sebum is different. Sebum is like he's already pretty mainstream.
Shit, everybody would already know who he was.
Yeah, that wouldn't do much. I can't think of anybody else. Derek, he'll promote Jesus.
Nah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Have you ever noticed fishy? Whoa, that's mean. Where does Keon Olympia package fall in this year's Arnold lineup, in your opinion?
Third or fourth. He beats Brandon.
Well, I wouldn't be upset if he did.
I'd say he beat. I would say he beat Andrew too. Like me personally, I would say he beat Andrew.
This specific version of Andrew.
Yes.
I won't argue against that.
I just think Andrew's so big that they may still give it to him, but I still think that Keon was so detailed and so like peaked perfectly. Like there wasn't anything you could do to Keon to make him better that day. I don't think at all.
Yeah,
you couldn't have gave him one more gram of rice. Like he was just perfect.
Yeah, I can't tell you what Steve or Tyler would do, but if I'm a judge sitting there, I probably would have him.
Yeah,
I probably would have him third.
I think if you're a bodybuilder's bodybuilder, you'd pick Keon probably almost every day.
Yeah, he's just not gonna. I don't think that package would have beat Samson or Derek because Samson has such good shape and he's so much bigger.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I mean, he's definitely a better peak bodybuilder than Samson.
Yeah,
you know. What you think, Alyssa?
I don't know. I think Keon might have beaten Samson's Arnold look this year, but like Justin said,
I wouldn't argue with it one bit.
But it just brings up the question: is like the actual size of Keon the issue? Like, because I mean, look at what happened to Sean Clarita. Like, he was peeled and whatever, full, all that, but he just isn't as big. So
yeah, but Sean is not anywhere near Keon's structure.
That's absolutely correct, but I'm just saying, like, that general statement is like, if Keon's big enough to beat Samson.
Well, you have Derek as well. You know, Derek.
I don't think he would have.
Derek's like, I guarantee Derek's barely 230.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you mean the size thing? Yeah,
yeah, like he's just the stature of Keon. Is it big enough to dominate over Samson and or Derek?
Keon, even at the same height, Keon adding more tissue, I think would become a Derek, which is a you know.
I think he would become a better Derek, honestly.
Well, that's
what everybody loves Derek's back double. I'm not it's crazy. I'm not the most fan of it. I don't think it's near as aesthetic as it used to be. From the back.
It's not an aesthetic. Yeah, it's not an aesthetic.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an aesthetic, but I think it's the best by a long shot.
It's crazy, but I really don't. It just doesn't like it. I think maybe because his back is disproportional to his legs from the back.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
His back is crazy. There's no question, but it's not like, you know how you saw Dorian's back? It just looked like it just fit together perfectly. His like has his shoulders, and there's kind of like a gap, and then there's his lats, and it's like I don't know. It's just kind of put together weird.
If Keon teaches him how to do that leg thing, adductor thing from the behind,
I don't think anybody can do that shit, bro.
I don't even know how he does it, but they kept talking about his thigh gap from behind, Derek, and Keon actually does have bigger adductors, but it's really the posing, man. He does.
Well, Keon doesn't flex his glutes as hard either.
No, Derek flexes the shit out of his glutes. Yeah. You got to have a seminar about that.
If Derek is going to catch a cramp, it's going to be a cramp in his damn ass for sure.
Yeah, he'll catch an ass cramp. Okay, let's do one more. Let me try to pick a good one.
All right, one more.
Could Shan? Y'all know who Shanzibra is?
Yeah.
How about you, Stu?
Oh, that big ass dude, like from Canada,
kid, right?
Yeah.
He's Australian.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Looks like he's autistic, but whatever.
He's sloppy motherfucker.
Hey, he's my friend. Don't say that.
That's fine.
I think he's funny and entertaining, but he's just sloppy.
He said that's fine. They said could he win a pro card?
No.
Hell no.
Is he bodybuild?
Maybe pro eating, but not a pro card. Not a bodybuilder.
Pro dart smoker.
Yeah,
it's a different look. But bodybuilding is so much different than.
Let me make sure we're talking about the same guy.
Just because he posts like Photoshop like looking pictures. Like, is that it? When you see him at the expo, he don't look like those pictures.
Well, we got some pictures together. If I could pull it up, if I can find it.
He just looks like melted. Like he's a big motherfucker, but
Well, okay, that's the difference. He's a big person is different. He's a bigger person than me. But us posing together, you see like the muscle, and I'm not even.
What's his name on Instagram?
It's Shans, bro. Shans,
Spell
bro.
it.
Shans, and then bruh.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, no. He
So
didn't
so
do pro card, especially as his profile picture. That shit's Photoshop as hell. I don't care what anybody says.
I'm gonna see if I could. Maybe I'll pull it up after I edit it and then put the picture. But you see I'm not even like the top of even the amateur levels, and you see the muscularity difference, And I wasn't even at a point where I was like blasting, but you see it, and he's a
Yeah, you're
bigger
right,
person.
Alyssa. I'm pretty sure all these photos are like
They
shopped.
look distorted. He just doesn't live a professional bodybuilder lifestyle, so it's not gonna or in turn
Nor,
he's
nor
not gonna
does he
be a
want
pro.
to, nor does he want to, but I don't think he has the genetics. He has the genetics of a big person, but he doesn't have the genetics of a bodybuilder, if that makes sense. So even if he did live the lifestyle, I don't think genetically he has that. I think he has a. I think he could be like a.
Wrestler or some shit.
Should I would say a strongman before a bodybuilder because you got big joints, big arm, big hands. Like he's just a big person. But I think what he's doing is all he needs to do. He's doing. He's making a great living from,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and he's a really cool guy. I know he looks up to bodybuilders, like he's into it like that, but not for himself.
Does he live by you?
No, but he does do a lot. Last time we talked, he was still living in Australia, but he wants to move here, which I don't know if he has, but he still comes there quite a bit. Probably when
Whatever
he was.
whatever it is, whatever he's taking, he needs to stop taking because he's very high on estrogen. You can tell.
Wait, what?
He's very estrogen dominant. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, you mean what? What do you mean, like the water retention?
His face. It looks like his face is drooping. That's a lot of
Might
water.
just be fat, dude.
Well, when you're fat, you are estrogen dominant too.
Yeah,
Most of the time.
be nice, man.
All right, my bad. He's not being mean, but no, he will not turn pro ever.
These people are my friends, man. But
Well, that's up for you to defend them, not me.
You need to pick some better friends, baby.
Yeah, see your fucking shit attracting flies.
they they cool people, man. They cool
I'm
people in
sure
real
he's
life.
pretty cool, but no. I know a lot of cool people that have never turned pro.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
they actually live the bodybuilding lifestyle and they'll never turn pro.
That's very true.
So
It's not what people think it is. Like I don't know what people assume it is, but it's a different level from I think what most people. Unless you're competing at that level, I don't think you really understand it. Right? I
yeah.
think everybody sits at home and they think that I could do it like that, right? Until you actually try it, because it's just different. It's a very different ball game. You know, like Sam did turn pro, but his fans think like he's like a top pro type shit. Like they thought
They
he
don't know
was
what it really is.
no. All right, last one before Stu passes out. Protein powder. Can you be lower back pumps in the gym? What do y'all get lower back pumps?
Not right now.
Not anymore.
Not right.
No.
After my show, I had some hardcore back pumps.
In the off season, I did when I was 300.
What do y'all think caused it? Like the number one culprit?
Water retention,
Simple as
stuff
that.
like that. Simple stuff.
Regardless where it comes from, whether it's from D-ball or junk food, it's gonna be water retention. I
Most of the
believe
time,
that.
yeah, unless you just got like some really tight muscles back there and just hamstrings be tight, pulling on your lower spine, stuff like that. But most of the time, it's just pumps.
I've heard people say like I think it's my kidneys. I'm like, what?
Bro,
I don't understand that. Why would you think it's your kidneys?
yeah, that's not your kidneys.
Yeah, I don't.
It'd be a different pain.
Yeah. All right. Let me see if there's try to break up with my girlfriend with that. I think that's it. Favorite meal
Perfect.
snack. Favorite snack. How old are we? All right, I think that's it. I think we've done enough damage.
I don't know. I'd smack a Reese's right now for sure.
But to answer his question, what would you do to fix the lower back? If your client said, "Oh my God, I'm having the worst lower back pumps," and he's following your plan,
But
he's
if
not
it
bullshitting.
depends on like if he's a little too soft, would pull him down probably.
He's in his rebound, and he's like, "Yo, coach, I'm following your plan. I'm not cheating, but my lower back is killing me. What can I do?"
Taurine.
Yeah, taurine. I was about to say that.
Really?
Taurine balances all electrolytes.
Damn. Okay. How much taurine would you take?
At least 5 grams, probably in the morning.
Oh, well, there you have it.
Like every morning, I have 2 liters of water, and I go 5 grams of taurine with I don't know how much salt, but a lot of salt. And that's what I drink, while I'm doing cardio. So I would just start with that. If you need more, keep going.
Fine. Well, I think today was a good educational podcast. What do you guys think?
All 15 minutes that you can show of it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch the whole thing and make some edits. I don't want to be a dick neither, so I think I'm.
I really don't feel like it was that bad.
No, but when I watch podcasts and people are like kind of mean to bodybuilders, I get upset. But they're serious. When I'm never serious, I'm always joking. So I hope nobody thinks I'm like I'm serious when I joke. But like I don't like when people talk shit about bodybuilders because I have a lot of respect for them. But if it's jokes, I think it's all fair. I just think everybody doesn't like jokes though. But
a lot of people can't take jokes. There you go. Bodybuilders are sensitive.
Exactly. In the early episodes, me and Stu were so sarcastic, and people would DM me, man, and they weren't happy. And I'm like, damn. I thought it was good fun. I think but we shit on each other, bro. Y'all shit on me. I shit on y'all. Like I think we shit on that. We shit on ourselves too. We don't take each other seriously. So just anything we say here about bodybuilders, we're joking. Unless we're serious, then I think you can tell the difference. Sometimes it's serious, but
all right. I'm leaving now. Bye, guys.
All right, bye, Stu. Bye, everybody.
I'll catch y'all later.
Bye, y'all.